as you guys probably know by now, because I talked about it quite a lot on social media, I went to Scotland. I was very kindly asked to speak at the Scotland Planner event, and I did a little bit of a vlog while I was there. A lot of this is in square format. I apologise because I did some Instagram stories whilst I was there, and it's really hard, you know, to remember to Instagram photos, Instagram story, take vlog footage. So I've kind of got a little bit of everything. It was fabulous. It was all like Scotland themed, and I have never felt more welcome anywhere before. They're a lovely bunch of ladies, a Scottish crew, totally rock. They're absolutely fantastic, and they welcomed me with warm and inviting arms, and yeah, made my whole family feel like really welcome. So yeah, just got a little bit of footage. There was a mixture of some stalls. We had a couple of talks. I did a talk, and a couple of workshops. There was a stamping workshop and a more of a scrapbooky workshop. I didn't actually get any footage of those, and then I talked, so it was really cool. I couldn't film myself, and Mr. B had to leave with Miss B because she needed some fresh air, so I didn't really get, there wasn't much of my talk. Luckily Michelle managed to get a little bit of my talk recorded for me, which was awesome. But yeah, totally cool, really fabulous experience. I've never been to Scotland before, and we were always saying that we really wanted to go to Scotland. So when I was asked if I would speak, it was kind of like, you know what, we should really make a family holiday out of this. So it was, not only was the event really good and really enjoyable experience, it kind of gave us that push to go to Scotland as well, which we always said we wanted to do, and we made a week's holiday out of it, and we went round Island Skye and back. But yeah, had a thoroughly good time, and this is the footage that I took from the event, so I hope you enjoy.
Hi everyone, how's everybody doing? If you don't already know who I am, I'm Claire Brim. I am probably best known for being co-owner of Paper Pen and Plan. If you're not in my group, why not? I am also a freelance designer in the craft industry. You may have seen my cards and a teeny little picture of me in Make Cards magazine. I have been freelancing for about 3 years, but I have actually been crafting really for 8. If you speak to my parents, they'll probably tell you I've been crafting since about the age of 6, when I had my scrapbook magazine, an Argos catalogue and a Pritt stick, or dot to dot. So 8 years ago I got given a shoebox full of crafting supplies from my sister-in-law, who was doing a de-stash. At the time I had 2 young children. I was up to my neck in nappies and wipes and children. So when she handed me this shoebox of craft goodies, she's like, "Do you want it?" I was like, yes, I'll take it. I needed something new and exciting. So going from this shoebox, I now obviously have my own office and craft room. I discovered the Do Crafts community, and when I was in there, this whole new world called blogging. I had no idea what blogging was, but it sounded quite scary, but also quite exciting. So one of my friends said to me, "You should start a blog." I was like, "What's a blog?" No idea what a blog is. Help. So I tried to look into it. I had no idea. I am not technical at all. I was like, "There's my password." She set it up for me, and I was like, "Yes." So this gave me the platform to basically just share my handmade cards. Now, my blog was called Crafty Claire, So if you Google it and find it, you'll see my very first card. And I'm afraid to say I look at it and I think, oh my god, I actually thought this was amazing. So that was 8 years ago. And through blogging, I entered, there was like card challenges, because there was no Pinterest or anything back in the day. So this was where everybody was in the world, what I call blogland. And during this time, I entered craft challenges, there was design teams, and I used to look at all these amazing people and think, oh wow, not actually really thinking that that's something that I could do, because I always thought, you know, I'm not that good enough, I'll never be that good. So about a year later, Sarah Hurley, she's an entrepreneur, she decided to start her own crafting business and her crafting line, and she was looking for a design team. And at that point, I don't know, there was just something about, do you know what, I'm going to apply, really not thinking I'm going to get on this team. But I sent an email, completely forgot about it, kind of. And then I got this reply back saying, do you want to join? And I was like, oh my goodness, you know, why has she picked me? You know, there's so many talented people out there. I was like, why me? But yes, she said yes. So obviously I was super excited, and I also was part of this team. If you happen to be in my group, you will know that there's a girl called Jane Drake. She is my now design team member, and we shared 5 years of being a design team together. During that time, although I started just off as a craft maker, because we had these monthly challenges, it could be scrapbooking, we did memory journal, basically anything that would promote Sarah's goods. And obviously it was good because it got you outside the box. I had never done art journaling before, I had never done mixed media before, and also all during this time I was like, I'm not good enough, but here I need to inspire people to use Sarah's products. And obviously my job was to show people how you can create different things. Yeah, so did that for about 3 years, and then I happened to be in a pub with Sarah, as you do, and she told me that Jane, who is a talented illustrator, is joining her team to become a stamp designer. And I just thought, wow, that is such an amazing job. Not thinking, I'd love to do it, but being realistic, I was like, that's just not me. So Sarah had said to me, she's like, why don't you try? And I was like, well, I haven't drawn since high school, and that wasn't just yesterday. So she said to me, it's her business. She's like, send me some designs. If they're not good enough, I'll be upfront with you. I was like, that's fine, because she's got a business to run. She can't just pick me because she likes me. So went back home. 6 months later, I then had my first stamp range, which came out, and Jane had hers as well. So I then spent about a year. We had different stamp ranges and things like that. And then after that, she then gave me this opportunity to create a digital CD. I have no craft knowledge. I have no idea how to do any graphic design or anything like that. But it's one of those opportunities where I thought, right, if I say no, will I get this opportunity again? If I say yes, I might fluff it up. But you've got to try. And I thought, do you know what, I'm going to do what I always do, I'm just going to try my best. So with lots of YouTube searching and Googling, I came across a software called GIMP. Now it's the most basic of basic, but hey, it was free, and I basically self-taught through GIMP. And through that, that's when I then created a digital crafting CD. Not long after that, I then decided to join the CHA. I don't know if anybody has ever heard of it, but it's called the Craft and Hobby Association. This association has a group of members who are in the craft industry and like small designers, and through that, as part of your membership, you attend workshops and you also get to meet people in the craft industry who are also there to learn. So although you're maybe in amongst the big fish, they're still there to learn as well. So, and I was just this little fish in amongst all these big people. But it was lovely because it was a good way to network, it was a good way to meet new people, and it was also a good way to learn. Because I think when it comes to crafting, you're always learning. You know, you're always learning new techniques. You know, there's so much to learn, and I think, and you've got the mistakes to make as well, and that's another way of learning. So I met the lovely Katie Skelton. If any of you know, but she works for Physics now, but she was also in magazines. She gave me the advice of applying to a magazine. And again, it's one of these things, it wasn't actually, I never had this dream of becoming in a magazine. I didn't plan it, but I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to apply. And it was the same process with the design team. It's like, I'll send my CV, I'll send my email. What's the worst that can happen? They can say no. So I sent an email, and within a couple of days, Sally sent an email back asking me to join, and I was shocked because I was like, oh my god, I'm actually going to be working for this amazing magazine. So that's another job where I then began inspiring people by, I get sponsors from Physics, Lawn Fawn, all those kind of people. So it's my job then to inspire people to even just to start to craft, because with the craft magazine, your customers, some people have been crafting for years but are still learning. There's people who have never crafted before and they have just picked up this magazine for the very first time thinking, do you know what, I'm going to try that. And you've also got maybe the crafter who's in the middle of the road who has maybe an experienced crafter in, say, card making, but wants to venture on to, say, scrapbooking. Now, though it's predominantly a card making magazine, you can actually learn a lot of techniques in this magazine for journaling and your planners and things like that. So next time you pick up a magazine that is perhaps just for scrapbooking, you can actually take that knowledge and teleport it into other crafts. That's the great thing about crafting. There's no rules, you can do whatever you want. So if you want to stamp in your planner, you stamp in it. If you want to paint it, if you want to splash it, if you want to rip it, not that you would, but you can do absolutely anything because it's your card, it's your scrap paper, it's your planner. You know, nobody is going to judge you on anything. And the best way to learn is actually by crafting. You can also learn obviously through YouTube, you can learn through blogs, you can learn like Instagram. Obviously with the web, there's information everywhere, but the most important way to learn is actually just by doing it. So if you're ever scared about trying anything, you know, if you've maybe just joined the planner community, you know, just pick a planner and find something that works for you. You know, it's great to be inspired by other people, which is obviously my job to inspire you, and you can learn these techniques, but make them your own, make them who you are. Like I look at people and I'm inspired by them, but I'm not a mixed media artist. I maybe dabble in it a little bit, but I'm no by means an expert in that field, but it doesn't stop me from trying it. If you're not a card maker, you know, you might want to try it out, you might find out you might actually like it. And a lot of the time, without actually trying something, everybody has a skill, but we're all under this pressure that we have to create the perfect card, we have to have the perfect planner, we have to create the perfect page. Nobody's judging you, this is your page, so therefore you should make it your own. So how can I inspire obviously people through the magazine? I inspire people through my own brand. I inspire people through now working with Stitch 2. I've recently been recruited to become a craft demonstrator for them in Scotland, so if anybody's interested, I'll be shouting out and see if you can maybe join me. And obviously what I want to talk about next is how you can inspire people, because every single person in this room can inspire people. You have that ability within you, and also you've got the ability to share it. So you may think, oh, I'm never good enough to start this, I can never do that, I wish I was as good as you. I still think like that, but I still produce work, and I always produce it to the best I can. And creativity is all about that. It's just about, it's a learning process for everybody, and you'll be amazed at how many people you can inspire by just sharing a picture. I've got workshops this afternoon and this morning, which is the stamping workshop, so it'd be good to chat about anything like that. If anybody has got any questions about what I do, or if you want, maybe you're thinking about joining the design team, if you want any advice about how to apply, or if anybody's interested in maybe even getting published. You don't actually have to be a freelance designer to get published. There's a lot of magazines out there who they want readers' articles, and it is as easy as just sending them a project, and before you know it, you too could be in a full-spec magazine as well. If you want to know anything about, I've got my own stamp range, and if you want any information about how I got into that, if you want to do your own stamping work, and anything about paper, pen and pencil. If you have got any questions, I am around all day, and if I can help with anything, please give us a shout. And that's it.
To the SPG admin team. They've put a lot of hard work into today, and I know that they've really tried to think about everyone and all your needs, so if we can just give them a quick round of applause. Right, okay, big girl pants are on. So there's actually a bit of a funny story of how I'm here today. About 8 months or so, I had a really official looking Facebook message from Susie. I mean, punctuation and everything. And she asked for my email address because she had something to send me. I remember going to my email, my inbox, and I had sweaty palms and everything. I just imagined this howler, like of an email telling me all the SPG rules and how many I'd broken. So when it was the invitation to speak here today, I was kind of blown away and really happy. And I remember going downstairs and telling Trevor, and he was actually the one who encouraged me here today. He even had to encourage me out the door yesterday when I was like, I can't do it. Why? Yeah, a little representation of Dobby. So if you do want to have a photo with Dobby, anyone in my group will know what that means. If you do want to have a photo and put it on Instagram, please hashtag, what was it, Dobby's Adventures, Dobby on tour, and Trevor will see that. So when about 6 weeks ago I sat down to write this speech, and you can see how nervous I am because I do not do public speaking, I look shaken and everything. I was going to get up here and say, you know, what am I doing here today? Why do you need to hear me speaking? And then I really realised that that's kind of counterproductive of the message that I wanted to get across to you all. About a year, in fact it was exactly a year ago today, we launched Ugly Bug Plans, which was my little side hustle of planner stickers and accessories. And we kind of come from nothing. Currently we own Ugly Bug Plans and Ugly Bug Leathercraft, so we're the home of the Ugly Dory. But I really wanted to encourage, inspire and motivate anyone here today who has a dream of, you know, whether say it's setting up a sticker shop or a bigger dream, because we all have it in us. And I just wanted to share a few tips with you on how we set up the business and things that I've learned along the way. Because believe me, there's been mistakes, lots of them. So when we started, we were just Ugly Bug Plans, and about 4 weeks ago, we split into Ugly Bug Leathercraft and Ugly Bug Plans. Ugly Bug Plans, to me, became me. It's the handle I'm known, apart from the Planner Princess, it's the handle I'm most known by on YouTube and blog and Instagram. So we kind of separated the Leathercraft, which is the Ugly Dory. It was about July last year that I kind of stumbled on Traveller's Notebooks, and it was Foxy Fix and Chic Sparrow, and just fell in love. I fell in love with the system and the way of planning, but didn't really find anyone in the UK that sold the products that I was after. Trevor at the time was working in security, and the hours were a bit, well, really bad for a family with young children. And I remember turning around to him and saying, do you know what, I don't need to spend £300 on a leather planner. I've got a husband who makes leather products for bushcraft and knife sheaths and things. And I turned to him and I was like, you could make this for me. You could do it. And he was like, are you sure? So we brought the prototypes in and worked out a pattern. And I remember we put it on Instagram, and the whole hype, people were saying, where can I buy it? Is he going to sell them? And we had a bit of a wobble because it was like, is it a viable product? And I remember him saying, but will people pay? You know, will people order these products? And I think I've just about proven my point that you will, because I can see just by looking on the tables today how many there are around. So thank you very much. So our business to us gives us family time. Obviously we work from home. That's always been the intended, that was always our end goal, where we wanted to end up. So I just wanted to tell you a little bit about how your ugly dories are made. Obviously, Trevor is at home looking after the children, so he can't be here to tell you himself, so I'm going to do it for him. So we get our leather in, it's 2.4mm 4-grain leather, and that means that it's going to really age nicely over time. I don't know if any of you are in the Facebook group, but we've just launched a few new modifications, which are vertical pockets and the back flap. We have no idea. Anyone that's got a name for a flap, a fold-out flap in a pocket, please drop it in the comments box. No. Nothing you name is ever going to be good, Chloe. So they come in and we have sheets of leather and it's all undyed and untreated. We hand cut every single sheet to your ugly dory. So we have like templates that he literally draws and cuts around. Then each piece has to be glued, so that will be 3 sheets of leather, and hand dyed, and we use all eco-friendly products, so it's better for the environment. Once they are dyed, I'm trying to think now because I don't actually do the production, I just take the money. He then has to mark every single stitch hole in the planner. He has to mark by hand, and then hand stitch it all, bless him. He's got calluses and everything. I'm the one that goes out and puts the manicures on the tax returns, and he's the one that actually needs it. Then it's just treating the leather, and then adding the elastics. That's when I get my grubby little paws on them, and I get to give them a good sniff, I get to quality control them. If any of you work with your husband, have you ever tried to quality control some work that he's just worked 6 hours on? You're like, yeah, no, that one, we'll put that on the sale rack, go make another. It very rarely happens, luckily, but yeah, that's the hardest bit of the job. So yeah, that is how the ugly dory was born. About 3 months ago, we took a commission. I think you might have been the first commission, Lindsay. And someone said, could you paint this on a planner? Or how could I get this image on a planner? And that's where the whole custom took off, really. And we've turned out a few. I think most are sitting on this table over here. So basically, we can take any image and transfer it to your planner, which is all hand painted. Each ugly dory takes approximately 4 to 6 hours. No, not any image. I will not paint boobs on planners, no matter how much you ask. So yeah, that's how the ugly dory was born. We are working on a few new modifications that haven't been launched yet. We are looking into releasing our own range, and this is an exclusive of ring-bound planners, so that's something that we've really been asked a lot for. Lindsay's like, I'm going to rethink my next order. So yeah, we are hoping that within the next 6 to 8 weeks we will have ring-bound planners, the same style as the ugly dory, all handmade, but they will have rings. So there we go, Jess looks excited. Okay, so one of the main questions I'm asked is how I managed to run a business from home and I've got 3 children who are 5, 4 and 3. And basically it's time management. In the beginning I tried to kind of answer like Etsy messages at all time of the day. My phone would ping at 3 o'clock in the morning and I'd answer it. And I kind of really got in a bad place where I just didn't want to talk to anyone because I felt like I'd spread myself so thin that I didn't want to communicate from anyone. So about the beginning of March this year, there was kind of a few weeks where I just, I wasn't on top of answering messages. So I decided then that I was going to spin things around, and we actually have set times now, because when you work from home and your office is there and your kids are eating dinner here and you think, oh, I'll just mosey on over and answer a message, you're not fully dedicating yourself. So we now have 9 till 3 are our working hours, and I make sure I stick to that. Was that gone off? I make sure I stick to the 9 till 3. Any messages, I have allocated hours where I answer any messages not answered then get moved to the next slot. And that for me is really the best thing that I could have done for my business and for myself, because we tend to forget to take time out for ourselves. We're a mum, we're a business person, we're a homemaker, but we're never always really us. So I always make sure in my day I have a lunch hour or half hour, and I really have to stop myself, like putting the next load of washing in, or running the hula around. I grab a book, I grab my phone, I take myself away from my workout area and go and do something for me. So it might be, phone my mum or anything really. So yeah, I also have I'm very strict with myself in my planning. I plan every morning, I sit with my to-do list and I go over my most important to-do tasks for the day. I only let myself reschedule things for 3 times, so on the 3rd reschedule it has to be done, and I always make sure to do it first, because if I've rescheduled it 3 times, it's probably paying a bill, and you'd never want to do that, so I always make sure to do that first. And I really kind of follow the bullet journaling system, so yeah, that's how I plan my day and run my business. So, does anyone have any questions? Okay, well once again, thank you so much. No, we have the 5 and 4-year-old go normal school times, and then the baby, she comes home at 11:45. So it's... I tend to... it's an absolute nightmare, but I mean, for me, we're a family business and that's what we wanted, so to have the kids at home with me, they do appear in my vlogs, and when I'm doing a tutorial, you'll see like a little baby hand sneak in the side and past me, or like take some washi off the side, and then I'm in the video going, I swear that was there, and she's in the back like sticking it over the wall. But yeah, I just tend to, because I know she's home at 11:45, I tend to keep answering emails till then, or anything that I can do while she's watching Mia and Me. That's the new... Netflix is wonderful. You're like, would you like an hour's telly time? Yeah. While I answer messages, so yeah. Okay, so ladies, I want to just thank you again for listening to me waffle on, and if anyone has any questions about setting up their own businesses or blogging or vlogging or anything like that, I'm here today, and I'm also, where I am on social media, but I'm always willing to chat and, like I say, any questions or anything afterwards. Thank you.
Make available a couple of clear or blank pages in your planners or notebooks, because I want to get you to do some writing. I've gone to university, done a degree, worked in a office that I hated, and I wouldn't have learned some of the skills that would have then enabled me to do the business. So it's catch-22. I'm kind of glad for the journey. So in the community that we're in, there's a lot of overlap. Are we planners? Are we memory keepers? Are we journal keepers? Do we smash book? Do we scrapbook? To me, it's all one and the same thing. But there's also an overlap, and largely, in my opinion, that's because people can sell you something new. They can put a new label on it that this is the latest thing, and we like pretty latest things and we'll go and buy it. But essentially, to me, it's all kind of the same thing. It's all for you. So my first little exercise that I want you to do is going back to our school days, doing something a bit old school. I want you to either draw a circle, an oval, right bang smack in the middle of the page. Brand new spanking white page, don't be shy. A cloud, whatever. We're going to do a spider chart. Remember doing those at school? Everyone got something down? Hey, you can draw. You can draw. You've drawn a circle, you've drawn a cloud, you've drawn an oval, you've drawn something, you can draw. So let's take that further, let's get some sticks off there and get a spider chart going. I want you to jot down what you think a creative journal is. What is it? What does it mean? What does it mean to keep a creative journal? To spend like 30 seconds, a minute. As I said, I'm going to squeeze this down into half an hour. It means different things to different people. It means some of the same stuff. But a lot of people don't know where to start when they're thinking about journaling. They see this journaling as a thing that's out there, this unattainable thing. There's a blank page, that's scary. I can't draw, I can't create. So I want to try and kind of get you started on a creative journey today. Okay, so don't overthink it. One of the biggest problems I have in everything is I overthink things. And that is a big thing that stops you from creating and going forward. As, I can't remember if it was Claire who said this morning, it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to show anybody. Just doing it is enough sometimes to make you happy and to set your soul on fire or, de-stress you. So just doing something is enough. So I asked in my Facebook group, which if you're not a member of, you're very welcome to join. It's for creative planners, journalists and other crafty people. I asked them, I said, what is a creative journal or creative journaling? And they came up with some really good ones. There was quite a lot of responses, and I wanted to read out some of my favourites. And you're welcome to write these down if they speak to you. So, somewhere to capture moments and make them into memories. A written journal that's decorated creatively, not just for documenting your life, but for expressing yourself and enjoying the process of creating. My brain dump. My way to relax after a busy day. A planner or journal where we express ourselves creatively outside the confines of just planning and journaling. Creativity knows no bounds or limits, both in mediums used and what is created. Kind of like a scrapbook, but more intuitive, imperfect and expressive. Whatever you want it to be, it's a record of your creativity, so why should it have any rules?